You live in the loudest era in human history, not just noise, psychological noise, opinions in your pocket, drama in your feed, people demanding a reaction like your attention is public property. So you stay out. You keep moving, you keep showing up, because the modern belief is simple. If you're not visible, you're falling behind. If you're home, you're missing life. But Stoicism flips that. The strongest men don't fear quiet, they use it. They step back on purpose, not to hide from life, but to stop life from hijacking their mind. In the next few minutes, you'll see why staying home and embracing solitude can rebuild your thinking, protect your peace, and return you to the world calmer, sharper, and harder to control. Reason 1. The hidden problem is constant noise. Most men don't realize they're living inside a mental crowd. Their thoughts aren't theirs anymore. They're echoes of other people's emotions. Stoicism treats noise as a theft of agency. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." Solitude isn't emptiness, it's a clean room for the mind. Modern psychology would call this stimulus control. Reduce inputs, and your nervous system stops scanning for threats that aren't real. When you stay home by choice, you finally hear your inner voice instead of the world's. And once you hear it, you start to notice what's been drowning it out. Reason 2. The hidden problem is addiction to validation. Most men say they don't care what people think, but their behavior says otherwise. They go out to be seen. They talk to be approved. They post to feel real. Stoicism calls this slavery to externals. Epictetus said, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's not self-hate, that's freedom. Psychology backs it. External approval creates a variable reward loop. The same system behind gambling. You chase the next hit, and you never feel full. Solitude breaks the loop. When you can be alone without performing, you stop needing the audience. And when you stop needing the audience, you start seeing the next trap: distraction. Reason 3. The hidden problem is scattered attention. Most men call it busy, but it's really fragmentation. Half a mind on messages, half a mind on entertainment, nothing fully owned. Stoicism is not productivity, it's presence. Seneca warned, "He who is everywhere is nowhere." That's not poetic, it's diagnostic. Psychology shows deep focus is a state change. It requires uninterrupted time for the brain to shift into sustained attention. Solitude at home is where you rebuild that capacity. You stop training your mind to flinch at every notification. You become a man who can stay with one thing long enough to master it. And mastery changes your standards, especially for the people you keep around. Reason 4. The hidden problem is invisible social drain. Most men don't notice how often they leave a room feeling smaller. They call it just friends, just family, just how it is. Stoicism treats relationships as moral environments. They shape your mind the way water shapes stone. Seneca said, "Associate with people who are likely to improve you." Solitude doesn't make you antisocial, it makes you accurate. Psychology calls it emotional contagion. Moods spread, stress spreads, cynicism spreads. Time alone reveals which people steady you and which people siphon you. You start protecting your peace like it's a non-renewable resource. And once you protect it, you face a deeper truth. Your emotions were never meant to be rented from other people. Reason 5. The hidden problem is emotional dependence. Most men aren't addicted to fun, they're addicted to relief. They need constant company because silence forces them to meet themselves. Stoicism teaches that your feelings are not commands. Epictetus said, "It is not things themselves that disturb us, but our opinions about them." When you're always out, you never test that. You medicate discomfort with stimulation. Psychology agrees. Avoidance strengthens anxiety. The more you escape your inner tension, the more power it gains. Solitude is exposure training. You sit with boredom, restlessness, loneliness, and you learn you don't die from them. You learn you can hold your own mind without panic. And when you can do that, your home stops being a place you stay in. It becomes a place you train. Reason 6. The hidden problem is wasted potential disguised as living. A lot of men confuse movement with growth. They go out to feel alive, then wonder why they're not improving. Stoicism is blunt. Character is built in repetition, not in noise. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." At home, you shape thought through what you feed it: books, skill, craft, silence. Psychology would call it self-efficacy. Confidence comes from evidence, not from hype, not from compliments, evidence. When your evenings become focused effort, your identity changes quietly. You don't announce it, you become it. And that quiet identity exposes the next leak, the energy you've been donating to chaos. Reason 7. The hidden problem is energy leakage into gossip, drama, and pointless friction. Most men don't see how much life force disappears into other people's storms. You listen, you react, you argue, you defend, you explain, then you go home tired and call it social. Stoicism says your attention is your life. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When you go out less, you stop handing your mind to random events. Psychology calls it cognitive load. The more emotional conflict you process, the less capacity you have for discipline and planning. Solitude protects your bandwidth. You become harder to provoke because you're no longer living in the reaction economy. And when you stop reacting, something unusual happens. You stop chasing. Reason 8. The hidden problem is the fear of being alone with yourself. Many men chase attention because they don't trust their own company. They fill space so they don't have to face emptiness. Stoicism treats solitude as a test of wholeness. Seneca said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." The fear of staying home is usually imagined. I'll miss out. I'll be forgotten. I'll be lonely. But loneliness isn't cured by rooms full of people. It's cured by inner solidity. Psychology would frame it as secure self-attachment. You become a safe place for your own mind. When you genuinely enjoy your own company, you stop negotiating your worth through other people. And once you stop negotiating, you're ready for the real point of solitude: preparation. Staying home isn't a lifestyle. It's a season of deliberate retreat. A man does not withdraw because he's weak. He withdraws because he refuses to let the world train him into fragmentation. In solitude, you recover your attention. You rebuild self-discipline. You audit your relationships. You stop renting your emotional state from crowds. You develop a quiet confidence that doesn't need witnesses. Then you return. Not louder, not colder, clearer, calmer, more selective. Because the world can only pull you apart when you haven't learned how to be whole. Here is the Stoic law. If you can't sit with yourself in peace, you will never stand in the world with power.